Hi there, everyone, and this is Lara Silverfox. And today we are going to be doing a quick and very easy tutorial in regards to Vtube Studio, especially if you are using a Live2d model of any kind and you want to customize it in a way that is more personalized for you. For context, this is very helpful. For example, if you had a model done for you, but you wanted to change some colors that is not the agreement between you and the artist, and they would ask you to pay all over again if you want to customize it, different set of colors and stuff like that. Some artists will ask you to pay, and this is like the cheaper way to do things if you want to change things up. This is also going to be very good for people who only have downloaded free models on either Booth or in ko-fis of other people, other artists, and you want it to be more personalized, especially if you don't want to look the exact same model as another VTuber, that those kinds of things. And you will actually notice this with other VTubers. You will notice that it is a pre-made model, but they have created a few changes here and there to make it more personalized for them. So this is actually very helpful. But at the same time, it has come to my attention that a lot of people are doing it a little bit differently, a little bit harder than they need to do it. I actually already made a video about this, but it's not very clear and it might have been confusing for other people. So I'll try to break it down one by one this time around, and hopefully it gets to help you guys with this process. A little bit of disclaimer though, you do need to read the TOS of the creator that you have downloaded a model on or bought a pre-made model on, because some artists will not allow you to recolor or create any form of changes into their model. So please be aware of that, because you are going to be liable to anything that happens later on if you fail to do that. And please make sure as well to always credit your artist. Those kinds of things. You don't want to get in trouble and all of those kind of stuff. So just do it, for goodness sake. So yeah, let's go right to it. Okay, so before we actually start, I just showed you guys over here an image of what it can potentially look like if you change colors of your pre-made model or original model. Now, please be aware that if you have a more higher end model wherein it has a lot more details, when we talk about details, we're talking about wherein the model is obviously not just made of flat colors. There are going to be models that are mostly just flat colors, wherein there is like I don't know what you call it really. I think it's called cell shading, wherein there's a flat color, and then there's a shadow to make it like have a more real tone to it. However, my model is a little bit different, so this is not really the best sample for a model to have, because my model has a lot more high quality hair and eyes. So if I do slap on a flat color to it, it will look flat. And I use a lighter skin tone, so it will look like kind of a vampire kind of thing. And some people might like it, some people may not, so it really depends. So I would highly suggest that you study your own model first, and to make sure that you will be okay with the overall result. And always back up your main model. So in case you have some mess up and you don't know how to fix it, there's always like, an undo button for you. kind of thing. But this is actually very easy to do and very easy to remove in case there are problems as well. So I highly doubt you will go to that extent. But the beginners can actually mess it up quite easily. So I will do my best and hopefully it can guide you to the right direction. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so this is my model inside Vtube Studio. So as you guys can see, I have like a very plain background right now. So let's just ignore that. So the first thing is you would need to go to your settings to fix up your model. And um you would go to the third tab, I believe. Yep. And as you go to the third tab, we have a thing here called Customize Model, and this is where all the magic happens. So once you click on that, you will have all of these settings that you can actually do. And each of them has their own purposes, but for the purpose of this video, what you really need is this one, which is Customize Multiply / Screen Color for Art Meshes. So that's what we are gonna be working on. It's the same with my other video, and as you guys can see, I do have already created changes over here with my model. Because the normal look of this model is it has some puffy sleeves and it does look cute, but sometimes I just like to remove it, especially when I'm doing like a stream wherein I'm just like, you know, a half body VTube model, only because I don't want to look like, you know, very puffy on the screen. So yeah, I sometimes will remove it, and that's actually a really good way if you wanted to change something in your model, but you don't want to completely remove it. So let me just remove this and you guys can see it went back. These things are more of the shadows inside. So since my model is highly customizable, so there were a lot of things that I wanted to fix up and stuff like that. So I'll leave it at like this. So when you click few things into your model, you would see how much layers a model will have. That's actually how you know that your rigger really did a crazy amount of time to work on the model that you are working with. So anything that you can highlight, you can most likely change. And if you cannot touch something that is part of the model, it's probably because sometimes something is over there that's covering it as well. So you will need to experiment here and there, especially there's a lot of layers, a lot of measures that we need to go through. So for example, let's stick with the hair. If I want to change this part of the hair, look at this. I will just like touch it over there. And then you will need to find it out over here. It's always going to be in numbers. So it can be quite hard for people to figure out which is which. But I found a shortcut to that. And the shortcut is by clicking this I button at the sides over here. So look, if I click on this one, the one that we wanted to be done is being highlighted as well. That's how you know that this specific art mesh is connected to that. So what we can do is turn that on. We can choose the color that we desire, like that. I don't know. You can, you know, you don't really need to completely change it. Maybe you wanted to create some form of shadow or some form of like a different hair color just to create some form of blending to it or so. Just click that and click OK, and that would be that. So and then you will need to find a different color, a different position of your hair, those kinds of things. So it will take some time to get used to things, but it's fairly easy kind of stuff. So for example, I don't know. I actually don't want to change anything with my model, but take a look at this when I click on my skin. See? If you guys can see, it's doing a highlight over there. So, and then once you move it, you can actually change your skin tone. Okay, so as you guys can see, this skin tone is has a lot more color than what I actually have, as shown with my mouth area, which is obviously a lot more whiter. Now, sometimes it can be very tricky, so always remember to be aware of the hex code that you are going to get on this side. So make sure to copy that or so. Actually, sometimes it's a little bit useless to do this, because even if you go to a different set of art mesh and then you copy paste the same hex code, since remember we are doing a multiply of it, it's not always going to be the same color. So my advice to you is that, for example, you are working on the skin, don't suddenly change it to the hair, work on the skin alone. So that what you can do is that once you click OK and OK, what you can do is you can find this one, right? You can find the face area. Okay, you guys can see that it's being highlighted over there. So what we can do is do that, and then a button over here says paste last multiply color. And this way, I click that and look, it's gonna copy that all over again. So I just click OK and OK. So try to make sure you don't make a mistake to accidentally click an art mesh of obviously of a different color, because if you change click a different color, it's not going to be the same anymore. So let me just do this again to finish it off before I create a sample out of it. Okay, so now we have finished the skin. So I look like I have some form of tan or so. It makes my face like a lot more washed out, I guess. I'm not sure, but take a look at this. I'm going to color. My goal is essentially to use the same color of this skin tone, right? So I'm gonna look at it. Click this one on my arms. But take a look. Once I click this one, it's obviously not of that color. It's pertaining to my cleavage. And then, so you will need to find a way what is blinking. It's all about the thingy. So it does take a little bit of effort. Okay, we found it out. So, for example, we already found that the art mesh of my arms is this one, the last one. However, for example, I click this one instead. Accidentally, okay? And then I click this. I click this. Oh, let's put it this way so that it's a lot more obvious for the sake of this video tutorial. We click that and click OK, right? And that is by accident. So since it's by accident, the first thing that you would want to do is to remove that, right? So you unclick it and then we're back to 0. And then you will try and go back to the art mesh that you know, which is the arms. And then we try to copy paste what we know. This is the exact hex code that we use for the skin, but take a look, it's a lot different now. Even though it is the same hex code, it's still showing black, you know? And that is because the multiply of white is most likely going to be a darker color. So that could create some form of problems for you. So I would suggest that if you're working on the skin, just focus on the skin alone until you finish it all down. So that would be the way to go. So what happens now if you made a mistake? Well, you can't really do anything much, but to find a way, find what color it's gonna be. Take a look. you got to basically just eyeball it, you know. There's really nothing you can do, at the very least in my case. So I just eyeball it, what looks the same as the skin color over here to over here. And then I have it like so, and click OK, and then we're done. And then I'm going to be doing this. I will try not to touch the cleavage area, you know, but just for the sake of this video, yeah. Let's just try to, you know, do a little bit there. Let's just try to look it so that my model doesn't look weird, totally weird, and stuff like that. Let's see. I have removed this thing. Oh yeah, for you to remove an item, all you need to do is that once you find the item that you want to remove, then all you need to do is to, like, you know, put lower down the opacity like so, and don't forget to remove the outline as well. And then voila. And that's going to be your model. Now, oopsies, damn it. So see, I made a mistake again. So even though I did not click a color, the fact that I just clicked the turn on button, it's gonna create another issue. So right now I was trying to multiply it, but since it was blacked during that time, now it has turned white. So I would need to find the color that I'm looking for again, you know. And sometimes all you really need to do is to eyeball it and click OK. So now we're done. And you can also change the shadow if you guys want, but I'm just going to leave this be for now since it's not really what I want. Now, this will be fine already if this is the only thing that you want to change into your model. However, there will be cases wherein it's going to be part of your costume, for example. Then what you should do, right? Now, what you wanted to do is to go over here at the 4th tab of Vtube Studio, and you will be shown your expressions editor. So I have here all of the expressions that I have with my model, and you click this plus button and you will be creating an expression. So let's put in skin tone, since that is the only thing that I have changed. So over here in the hotkey, you go and click the art mesh area. Yeah, it's called art mesh color preset. Click select and OK. And over here it says record settings, and go click record. And once you do that, it will record the art mesh that you have messed around earlier. So let's say that the combination of the colors that I want is number 9, which is N9. I just set it up like that, you know, and that's it basically. So whenever I click 9, look, since I was already using the art mesh, I can go back to how my model normally looks like, which is like this. And then if I want to use my skin tone model that I have changed and edited on Vtube Studio earlier, I just click 9 and voila, I'm back to my sun-kissed Vtube model for the most part, right? So that's actually how you can customize it and color it down very quick and easy to do. So you can mess around however you like. This does not cover about item pinnings and other forms, but this is the very easiest way to do your hair colors. And it is also a good way to create shadows because you can color the shadows that is already existing into your model as well. Because sometimes the skin tone color that we have chosen does not always fit that our model and stuff like that. Also, you can remove certain items of your model if it's not part of your style, or it's not what you wanted to be seen or shown to the public. So it's really that easy. So yeah, and then I'm back over here. So, and as you guys can see, I now have a new look of a model. Of course, this is not going to be a model. Again, I am currently using a temporary outfit. This is not going to be part of, the final look of my model. But, you know, it's what I'm using right now. And sometimes I do like to change things up. I change my costume all the time. That's what you see on my TikTok and everything. But yeah, I hope this tutorial helps you guys, especially for people who are just newly jumping into the Live2d and slash Vtube Studio. There's a lot of things that you can do in Vtube Studio that you don't really need to do on Live2d, though it is actually quite fun to mess around with Live2d for the most part, but you don't really need to do that if it doesn't require you to, because you might just break your model, just like what I always do. Yeah, and if you have any questions and or maybe things that I know how to do, I will try to create a video that will suit your needs. When it comes to Vtube Studio, I'm quite of an expert when it comes to messing around with Live2d things, apparently. Yeah, thank you guys for watching this video with me, and hope that you have learned something from it. It's my wish and hope for you guys. I tried teaching you guys in a very way that is very, very easy to do. But yeah, it does take practice and it does take time to get used to it. But you'll be fine. I was fine then. Everyone can be totally fine. And this is something that everyone's gonna find easy to do. Anyways, thank you guys for watching with me, and please do like this video if you find it helpful, educational, and something that you would want to see more of. Please do hit the like button, comment, and please hit the subscribe and tick the bell icon to have more notifications on my videos as well in the future. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.